The following is a presentation of the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner. Broadcasting from the campus of Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show is on the air. The Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show is presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Start banking with Freedom First today. The Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show is also brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Carter Bank, life lived full. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling. By Foster Fuels, providing reliable service for 100 years. Lynchburg Nissan, nobody beats our prices, nobody. Rogers Heating and Cooling, servicing Greater Lynchburg's HVAC and electrical needs. Thompson Brooks Insurance, planning today for tomorrow. And by the United States Space Force. Have a question or comment for one of our guests? Email lfsn@liberty.edu or post a message at LFSN Radio on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Mills for three. Yes! Avery Mills from 3rd Street. Liberty leads 57-51.
Now let's talk Liberty Flames women's basketball. Here's your host, the voice of the Lady Flames, Jamie Hall.
Welcome into this week's Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show. It's going to be strange for me to say, and Coach Sherard, who is with me, and I'm not even finished with really the introduction here, but I almost stumbled onto this. How many years have I said the phrase, Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show with Carrie Green? And it's one of those things. Like if you've got your TV screen on or your computer screen, back in the day, you remember you had your computer screen on too long, and then even when you turned it off, it still said Microsoft Word on it. It was kind of burnt into the memory. It's going to probably take a little while, so I'm going to apologize ahead of time.
26 years.
26
almost
years.
30 years.
Is a long chunk of life. That's more than half of life here. So. It will be a little bit, and I'm sure for the fans too, it's going to take a little while to kind of get used to that. But for me, I've seen you roaming up and down the sidelines. Here, I've completely blown the intro here. We're just going right into chit-chat. But seeing you roaming up and down the sideline, we kind of joked the other day that there's sometimes that you're roaming up and down the sideline where the referee goes, sit down.
Yeah. Put a seatbelt on Sherard. I've heard it all. So you've got that territory staked out already, but now you've got free reign. Sure. You don't have to get anybody's permission to hunt on your property, like you had to before. We're just ad-libbing at this point. The Lady Flames are going to be playing on Tuesday night against Frostburg State. You're going to want to be there, and if you can't be there, you're going to listen on the radio, and we'll have the games on the booth cam, so it'll be on YouTube and Facebook and the Liberty Flames app and libertyflames.com. If you want tickets to go to the game, another opportunity there on libertyflames.com. I know they got a nice promotion going right now with the men's basketball game on Monday night, the women's game on Tuesday night, so check all that out at libertyflames.com. Okay, I got all that out of the way. Now we can just get back to talking like we always do. Usually, though, a lot of times when we're texting back and forth, or I guess Instagram messaging or whatever they call it nowadays, and there's usually something funny going along with it. I live in two different worlds. Your and I world, when we're talking on Instagram, it's usually something funny, and it could be some fail videos of people falling down stairs or something like that, but it usually has something funny to it. And if I see something, if I'm scrolling through and I go, that's for Lex. Yeah, I gotta send that to him. And then something else, I go, no, he wouldn't appreciate that. That goes to my friend Will, or Dwayne, or my mom. If it's a cat video or a dog video, send that to my mom and my sister. So, do you have that same kind of list that you go through and you go, okay, this one needs to go to Jamie, but not Carrie, and or whatever? No, I kind of keep the same genre. Mine is usually the fail videos, the funny fails. Usually people, they know when my message is coming, they're either going to open it or not open it because they already know someone's usually going to have some type of fall or slip that usually ends up being funny. But no, I kind of stay consistent with my videos that I send out.
Laura Mancuso probably would appreciate some of the stuff that
she's
you
on the
send
list.
out, because
she's on the list.
She could then go through and go, that's going to be 6 months of rehab.
Exactly.
She knows exactly what injury.
I hope it never happens to any of our players.
Right. Or any of us.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. The number of times, and Laura and Ben Galley before her and whoever, and go back before them, that I've had to walk over and go, tell me why my neck's doing this. I was playing laser tag and my knee gave out. Do you think it's a meniscus?
Sure.
Yeah, sometimes we take advantage of those friendships. I've got a buddy that's a doctor, and the times I've texted him and go, is this concerning? Should I go to the ER, or should I just wait and make an appointment? He goes, you're hypochondriac. Just make an appointment. But how has we'll get into some details, but how has the overall transition gone for yourself as you kind of get acclimated into the head coaching position? We're going to talk with your newest hire as far as Brad Palmer and his role with the team, but everybody's roles have kind of shifted a little bit.
Yeah, so the transition's been amazing. I'm surrounded by amazing people. The administration, all the way from the top, from Dr. Costin, our president, to Ian McCall, to Aaron Hagan. They've all been so supportive. They've been assisting me in any areas needed. My staff that we assembled, most of them had already been here. Andy, Katie, Dan, Sarah, hope I'm not Amber. They've been there. So the continuity has made the transition excellent. And as you alluded to, our new addition, Brad Palmer, and Emma Hess, who's no stranger to the Lady Flames, our staff has just been amazing. So all of the continuity, all of the support, the love has just made the transition seamless. And obviously the players, most importantly, they've really embraced me. Obviously relationships were already there over the years, just through recruiting, assistant coach, associate head coach. So there's just been a lot of love throughout the program, and it's just been a seamless transition. It's been tremendous.
It seems like the off season goes quicker and quicker and quicker the older we get. And I know this is probably one off season with all the things that you guys were working on behind the scenes, that it would have been nice if it would have gone as slowly as possible, but it doesn't seem like that was the case. I feel like it was just the other day that we were talking about the passing of the torch and Coach Green retiring, and now it's time to play basketball. On a scale of, we'll give it percentages, what percentage do you feel like you're ready for this season to start?
Oh, no question, 100%.
Offenses and defenses in place. You got it pretty good, because you're not changing a whole lot.
Sure.
Are you 90% where you want to be there?
No, we're ready for a game. Obviously during the course of the season, we'll probably add additional plays, additional defenses, but just with regards to checking off boxes as far as being prepared to play a game, we probably have 5 to 6 of everything. Sets, half-court offenses, out of bounds, side of the bounds, defenses, ball screen defensive. So I think we're ahead of the curve at this stage this year, honestly, just because of the continuity. We were with the team all summer. We used that, took advantage of those summer months in preparation of the season. Coach Green allowed me to have a lot of authority and control over the summertime with the players. So we use our time wisely. And like I said, the ladies have been tremendous. Most of them were here over the summer. So obviously that's a huge advantage just as far as preparation. So it's been great. It's been great. I think we'll be ready.
I don't want to pretend like I'm a comedian, but there's times when, especially when I used to do the morning show, that I'd be half asleep and some joke would kind of pop into my head, or some concept would pop into my head, and I'd go, I'm never going to remember this in the morning. So I'd wake up, turn the light on, and write down whatever it was, and Do you have that with offensive plays and out of bounds sets and things like that?
Sure. Yeah. So
wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh yeah, run this screen.
If you come to the house, if you come to my home, you'll see notepads on coffee tables, near televisions, near my bed, because I'm the same way. If I see something, if I'm watching a game, WNBA, NBA game, I always keep a notepad close, just because I'm kind of an offensive miser. I mean, I really like a good set like that. For me as a coach, I'm intrigued and fascinated by just the coordination, the spacing, the personnel, putting people in spots to be successful on the floor. So I always keep a notepad close. And if you were to come by the house right now, you see scribbles all over this notepad in the basement, scribbles in another notepad in my bedroom. So I absolutely, I'm always looking to be stealing someone's plays from somewhere.
Okay, you say stealing them. We'll say borrowing for the sake of legal reasons. But can you? Because I think the fan would go, basketball's been going on forever. I mean, how can there be something new to invent? Well, how come every play hasn't ever been played? But there can be subtle variations and tweaks, and maybe morphing two ideas from two different coaches together and stuff like that. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's a simple game, and you're right. It's a very simple game, and the concepts are very simple. But as you alluded to, even with the past 18 years working for Coach Green, we're not reinventing the wheel. I'm just putting little wrinkles, combining 2 or 3 plays together, taking a piece from this play, adding it to another play, and then combining the two. So I think just the combination of plays, nowadays false action is very popular. So you may have a play A that you want to run, but before you run play A, you may do some false action, a couple of ball reversals, maybe a ball screen, and then go into your play. So you want to kind of camouflage what you're doing just to keep the defense honest before you actually run your play.
So you're wanting to play teams that scout well. You're not wanting to play street ball teams. You're wanting to play the teams that see the first 3 moves and go, they're running da-da-da-da-da.
They think they got it.
And then now you're doing something
exactly
different.
Right. That's exactly right.
That's
Jamie.
the chess match. That's awesome. That's so much fun. Well, I don't want to keep you too long today. This is just our season preview. But as the season goes along and we talk more, I want to get kind of into your mind a little bit on some of that stuff. One last head coaching question, transition question before we get into the current roster and the games ahead. You're having to deal a lot. We've talked in the past. We get maybe once or twice a year get an interview in or something like that. But you're having to deal with a lot of this now. You're going to see me more than you want to see me this year. But it's not just me; it's everybody else that wants the head coach. Has that been the biggest transition? The pull on your time?
No question. I mean, the basketball side of it, managing coaches, the players, that's been a breeze. But administratively, I guess, which we're calling these meetings, interviews, podcast, I love it, but it's definitely time consuming. I mean, it's necessary. It's what the head coaches are required to do. It's what they need to do. The fans want to hear from the head coach. The fans want to know how the program's going. They want to know how the transition's going. So I understand it, but I really didn't have any idea the magnitude of it. And don't get me wrong, I am enjoying it, but it is quite time-filling, if you will.
I can understand. The other thing is there's a spotlight on you. You when you're walking up and down the sideline, and I know you're in an arena with 3,000 people too, so you're never going to pick your nose when you're sitting on the bench as an assistant coach either. But when you're the head coach, there could be a camera on you at any time, as you found out when I sent you a little meme the other day, that you make a motion and it's snapped or it's on TV, and so have you been a little bit more careful? Make sure everything's tucked in right,
I try. I mean, I'm sure there'll be bloopers out there before the season ends. I'm sure I'll do something, or I'm not realizing that there's a camera watching me, so I'm already anticipating some type of blooper, and I'm sure several people will bring it to my attention. So I'm already anticipating that. But I try to be conscious. I mean, like I said, as an assistant coach, you're just focused on the game. As a head coach, you're focused on the game. But, things happen. Your shirt's untucked. Your zipper's not zipped, but hopefully my assistants are doing their job and they try to help me out. Look out for me. Hey, Alexis, your shirt's untucked, tuck in the back of your shirt. But I'm not overly concerned about that.
I'm guessing you probably helped Pete Gillen back in the day with some of that stuff. Because
Pete Gillen, Kerry Green, that's what good assistants do.
Randy Dutton. I'm thinking of those three, maybe Kerry Green kept his shirt tucked in better than the other two because they were wild men on the sidelines as far as just,
Usually Coach Green's maybe just his collar coming out of his jacket, sticking out.
That's awesome. Well, let's take a look at the roster. I know the elephant in the room is, and for those that are just listening on the podcast, for one, we're joined here with Coach Alexis Sherard. They're not going to be able to see this, but for those that are watching on YouTube or Facebook, what that is the players that were on last year's roster, the stats that they had that are not back this year. And whether it be transfer or graduate, 73% of the scoring, 71% of the rebounding is not in the cupboard anymore. And the fans, I'm sure that's probably the first question. Now, the coaches in Conference USA said this Liberty team is still going to be pretty good, and they voted you guys number 2. So there's a little bit of pressure on as far as that's concerned. But where is the status of working those returners in and bringing in the newcomers that you've got?
Sure. So as you said, it's we took a big loss. I mean, we had an unbelievable senior class, great leadership. We've had now players that are developing, going into new roles, returners that played maybe sparingly. Now we're playing majority minutes, major minutes, and the expectation is higher. I think just as a team collectively, we'll have to, replenish the talent that we lost. We have a lot of new players, first-year players that came in this year that I'm expecting them to help us immediately. But I think the core will be the returners. Obviously, Avery and Emmy played quite a bit. Elizabeth, obviously, starting, our sole returning starter. Those are the players that, we'll rely heavily on. Obviously, Claudia was here last year. And then Efi was redshirted as well, who I think will be a great addition to our program. But I think for this team this year, collectively, it'll take a group effort for us to be successful and get to accomplish the goals that we're trying to reach.
Let's go through the position groups real quick and just kind of get your thoughts on who we should expect to see, who maybe needs a little more time to kind of get a role on the team. But let's start with the point guards.
Sure. So Claudia Sin, who obviously was here, this is her third year, played, sparing minutes the last 2 years. This year she's a captain on the team. Expecting her to play major minutes. She has an unbelievable feel for the game. She has a high IQ. She's a great passer, and she's a leader. I think that she more so leads by example, kind of a quiet leader, and we're trying to actually get her to be a little bit more vocal. I think her being a captain this year will definitely assist in that, but she'll be a major contributor. Then also Jakayla, she's a transfer, first year. She's a third year, so she's played a lot of games. The experience that she brings to our team is much needed. I don't think she'll be fearful of any arenas or games that we're playing. Obviously, coming from the ACC, I think her experience is going to be excellent and a great addition to our program and to the backcourt. Those about 2 of them. And then we could probably put Emma Leon, who's a freshman from Spain, who's a combo guard. She's been probably playing majority at the 2, but she's a very capable point guard as well. She's probably our most flashiest player. I know I may be dating myself, but back in the day when you had the And One mixtapes for basketball, if we had the nominated player on our team, it would definitely be Emma Leon, because she can go deep in her bag, if you will, on the court. And I think the fans will really like her. She's flashy when she plays. We're just trying to make sure that the productivity with the flash is congruent. If you know what I mean.
Are we talking Magic Johnson? Are we talking white chocolate? Like what are we talking?
Rafer Alston.
Okay.
literally from the N1 mixtape.
Wow.
That's back in the 90s now.
Yeah.
Now I'm really dating myself.
Pulling that one out of the...
Yeah. She's a great kid, great addition for our culture. She's really bought in. She's a tough kid, quiet kid. I think she'll be able to help us immediately as well. And obviously Avery Mills, who's been here. This is now her second year. Got to play in some pretty big games last year. There's no question. I mean, there's no secrets with regards to Avery. She's a dynamic shooter. But Avery's also a playmaker. The thing I like about Avery, she's not just one-dimensional. And I think, we'll be asking her to do quite a bit on both sides of the basketball. Create for others, obviously make shots, and then on the other side, defend, probably the second best opponent on the perimeter and rebound. So I think she's ready for the challenge, and she's really gotten stronger over the summer, and she's ready to embrace that role.
Did it help that she played point guard in high school as well?
Absolutely, because that's going to what makes her playmaking ability so well, because she did play point in high school.
Okay, are we forgetting any guards? Who we got left? Anybody? No?
We have Malia Lynn,
that's right, yeah.
Malia Lynn Alexander, who was redshirted last year. Malia, pound for pound in the backcourt, probably one of our better athletes. I mean, her brother obviously plays football. He's a freshman in North Carolina, so their whole family, her dad played in the NFL. So she's coming from pretty athletic genes. She's a dynamic defender. But the thing about Malia Lynn, I mean, she's a solid basketball player, but she's an amazing human being. I mean, she's just a great addition to our culture. Just to the team, the morale. She's a great encourager. She's selfless. She's a prayer warrior. So I think, for us, that's going to be what's most important to get us to achieve our goals for our team.
What's her natural position?
She's a shooting guard.
Shooting guard,
yeah,
okay.
Shooting guard, yes.
So now let's jump to the forwards, and you kind of alluded to Elizabeth and the experience that she brings back, and the fact that she just does things so quietly. You might not even, I wouldn't say you wouldn't know she's there, but you look at the stats at halftime and go, she's got 9 rebounds. She just does it in a very workmanlike way.
Elizabeth is our silent assassin. I mean, she's positionless. She can guard probably 1 through 5. She's probably at 6'1", 6'2", our best overall athlete. She's in the best shape of probably anyone on the team. She could play probably 40 minutes if we allowed her to. She would probably want to, but she plays, right now, she plays in the backcourt. She plays in the front court. We've actually changed her position a little bit to move her into the backcourt to help us in the backcourt, and she's done a phenomenal job. And as I said earlier, she's our sole returning starter from our last year's championship team.
Who's going to be, I guess we haven't quite filled out the starting 5 yet, although I know you don't want to give that information away just yet, but I guess an idea of who else will be, Ife, you mentioned Ife.
Sure.
And she'll be, I'm sure, getting a good chunk of minutes as well.
Absolutely. Ife was redshirted last year, so she's been around. She's heard all the terminology, familiar with our sets. She played with her national team this past summer, Team Canada, so the experience that she's bringing in as well is going to be a great addition. She's a physical, strong, finesse, savvy, mobile, another positionless player that can guard multiple positions, probably 1 through 5 as Liz can, and she's an unbelievable rebounder. So I think she'll be a great addition. I think she'll be a big surprise to the conference and to all of our opponents when we play them.
Who should we see coming in off the bench as far as 3, 4, and then we'll jump into 5 here in just a second.
Sure. So off the bench, Liddy, a transfer, first year. She'll be with us 1 year, coming from New Mexico. She brings length, size, athleticism. She's a big wing, about 5'11", 5'10", 5'11". She shoots the ball very well, so she'll stretch the floor, which is great for us. I mean, obviously, for our inside players, that makes life a lot easier when they're not being doubled. But she can pass, she can dribble. She's another one that can defend multiple positions, probably 1 through 4. But I think her shooting ability, catch and shoot on the perimeter to stretch the defense is going to be a big addition to our team.
And then I know Liberty has been synonymous with post players for as long as I've been here, and it's no different now. It's different names, but Emmy Stout at the top of that list.
Sure. So at the 5, we have Emmy Stout, Lynn Peters, who obviously Emmy's a returner from last year's championship team. doing great, just carrying right over from last season, scoring the ball well, rebounding. She's running well. The biggest thing with Emmy, she's really expanding her game to the perimeter. Now this year, she should be more comfortable shooting that 15-footer. Last year, primarily operated around the basket, but this year we're kind of stretching her. She's becoming more familiar with that 15, 17-foot jumper that I'm excited about. And Emmy, she's a student of the game. She's a high IQ player. She, kind of does what you ask her to do. And if she's not comfortable doing it, she's going to practice until she can get it right. And you got to love that as a coach. And then Lynn coming off the bench, first year from the Netherlands, big, strong, powerful 5. But Lynn is probably already just as comfortable on a perimeter as any of our 4s. She's a left-handed post that, causes problems for the defense. Good feel for the game. She also played with her national team over the summertime, so she's bringing in a lot of experience. She has a good touch around the basket, comfortable shooting a 3. She's already taken a 3 this year in her early days here at Liberty, so that's encouraging, and which is kind of uncommon for our typical post players, but she brings a nice addition to the program. And I don't want to forget Zeynep, another freshman from Turkey, who brings size on a perimeter. She's about 5'10", 5'11", shoots the ball very well, can pass, can dribble, and I think she's going to be a pleasant surprise. She's a young freshman, only 17 years old, so I think her best ball is going to be ahead of her as well.
We didn't get to see her, I don't think, in the exhibition game.
Did not.
Okay.
No. But she is. She'll be ready. She works hard. She's she's another student of the game. Likes to work. You got to kind of kick her out of the gym. I think she's going to be a very pleasant addition to the program as well.
Well, we've got about 30 seconds left. So how about a 30-second scout of Frostburg? I know when you're playing a D2 school and it's before the season has even started, there with all the turnover in the offseason, even at D1 schools, There could be a totally new roster from one season to the next. This may be a crapshoot for me to ask this, but what do you know about Frostburg?
Yeah, so they're going to be scrappy. They're going to be fast. Obviously, we'll have the size advantage inside, so they'll try to get as many possessions, as many field goals as possible. I'm assuming they'll try to press us a little bit, try to speed the game up, because obviously they don't want to play in the half court with our size advantage. So I'm anticipating some change in defenses, trying to press us a little bit, trying to play fast and try to get as many shots as possible and kind of take us out of what we're doing in the half court, which is play inside and out.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Can't believe the season is already here. And I say that, and it'll be March before we know it, so I guess we should enjoy it while we can. But really looking forward to that first game on Tuesday night, and hopefully we'll have a couple thousand fans with us.
That's what we're hoping for. Thank you.
That was Coach Alexis Sherard. We're going to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, new assistant coach Brad Palmer here on the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show.
What's important isn't that Freedom First has been in business since 1956. What's important is how we've been doing business since 1956. Since day one, we have been accountable to our members, not stockholders. We make loans that cost less, offer savings plans that pay more, and give back to our community, and that hasn't changed. What has changed is our ability to serve you with more locations and more technology to simplify your financial life. Freedom First. It's a place where anyone in our region can bank for good.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season, and that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
You're listening to the Liberty Women's Basketball Show, presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Today's show will continue after this 1-minute timeout on the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.
Thousands of our teammates make and deliver 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally. From the heartland to the coast, in big cities and small towns. Our products are moving, and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose, and we love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
At Carter Bank, we believe life is best lived full full of opportunities and dreams, of goals achieved and promises kept. We've been creating opportunities for more people and businesses to prosper since 1974. That means great local lending, convenient access to your money, accounts and guidance that make it easier to get more done. We are Carter Bank, the preferred community bank of Liberty Flames Athletics. Visit carterbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hi, this is Alan York, asking you to join the team as a member of the Flames Club. As a Flames Club member, you can make a difference by directly contributing to the success of Liberty Athletics. The Flames Club's mission is to raise the financial support needed to provide our coaches and student athletes with the resources to compete for championships. Membership levels vary and begin at just $75. Some gifts may even be tax deductible. When you join the Flames Club, you're truly investing in champions and championships. Join today at libertyflamesclub.org.
Welcome back into this week's Liberty Flames women's basketball show. We're now joined by Brad Palmer, brand new assistant coach. First of all, and I know I'm not the first one to welcome you to the mountain. As a matter of fact, I've probably already done that myself. But I guess in this official capacity on the podcast, welcome to Liberty. And I guess the first question is, what brought you here?
Yeah, well, fantastic question. First of all, I just want to say thank you for all that you do for our program. Just in my short time here, it's not hard to see that you're a big part of this family, and so thank you for that. To answer your question, I guess it's kind of multifaceted in a way. My exposure to Liberty was quite limited, honestly, until about a year ago, a little over a year ago, when my now son-in-law started being recruited by Richie to come play on the men's side. And so for me, it was a phone call that came from Richie McKay talking about Talon, asking about Talon, and putting that on the table that they wanted to recruit him. And that was kind of our introduction to all things Liberty. Literally the next week after that, I was recruiting at a girls basketball event in Oklahoma. I stepped off of an elevator, and literally standing right in front of me was a guy with a pullover on with LU. And I didn't know the guy, and so I said, does that happen to be LU as in Liberty University? He said, sure is, and it was Alexis Sherard. Wow. And so literally, maybe not coincidentally, we ran into each other there and just began to talk and visit, and became, I think we exchanged phone numbers that day. And then throughout the year, last year when Talon played here, we started to just stay in touch a little bit and keep in touch, and which all led up to this past fall when everything started to shift and move around. And next thing you know, I'm on the phone talking about the possibility to come here and join the women's basketball staff. So really, really cool story.
And I don't want to, I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit. We'll go back further, but I guess this can be just a little tease. You have a very similar background in basketball in relation to going from the men's side to the women's side, as Alexis does. Yeah. And with maybe some of our listeners that don't even know this, but he started off, of course, played men's basketball, and then got into coaching pretty much right after that. Eventually ended up at UVA, was here at Liberty on the men's staff. Yep. And then when there was a coaching change on the men's side, Kerry Green said, you like your house? You like the community? You want to stay around for a little while? And 18 years later, here we are. And now Alexis is the new head coach. And your background started on the men's side as far as basketball is concerned, and then you transitioned to the women. But let's go one step even further back to that. Let's talk about high school, college. Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school?
Yeah, so I grew up in the state of Pennsylvania. Grew up in a little town in central PA called Huntington, Pennsylvania. It's kind of near, not too far from State College where Penn State is. So I went to high school there. Then I went to Cedarville University in Ohio, played basketball at Cedarville. That's where I met my wife, Sarah, and just started our life together there. People often ask, how'd you end up in Arkansas? So long story, a concise version. She grew up in the Northwest in Montana. Her family was from a little town called Fairfield, Montana. We both landed in Ohio at Cedarville. So when we graduated, we had family all the way in the Northwest and all the way on the East Coast. And so we literally just started putting feelers out. We both had teaching degrees. We had some friends in Arkansas. And so that was one of the places we applied for jobs. They were the first ones to put a job offer on the table. So we landed in Russellville, Arkansas, thought it would be just a temporary landing spot, and we just never left. We just settled into the community, wonderful little community there. We ended up, all three of our kids were born then raised there. So that's how we ended up in Arkansas. So kind of a roundabout story.
When did the coaching bug bite?
Yeah, so honestly, it was kind of a delayed bite, so to speak. When I was in college, that's what I planned to do. I wanted to teach and coach. Came out of college, started teaching, taught for a few years. Wasn't coaching at the high school level at that point, but was coaching my own kids, like in summer basketball, things like that. Then a business opportunity came along that was a really good opportunity for me. So I stepped away from education and coaching completely for a while and was in the business world for about 5 years. Always kept a hand or an eye into the coaching world, just loved it, was at a distance. And then even from there, transitioned into my wife and I managed a nonprofit for a while, for quite a few years. While I was doing that is when I started kind of creeping back into the coaching world, and that's when I started working at Arkansas Tech on the men's side. I was kind of bivocational for a while. I was coaching basketball and still working for the nonprofit, and then that eventually just transitioned into full-time coaching. So I was at Arkansas Tech in different capacities with the men's team for 7 years. Then I stepped away from college coaching for a while and coached high school basketball. Again, all on the men's side, the boys' side in high school basketball. After 4 years of coaching high school basketball, I was a head boys basketball coach at Atkins High School, which was not far from Arkansas Tech, right there in the same general vicinity. The women's assistant job came open at Arkansas Tech. And similar to how Coach Green talked to Coach Sherard, the head coach there, he and I had been friends for many years when I was on the men's side. Our kids grew up together. His son and my daughter actually were in the same class in high school. And so he reached out to me and just began dialoguing about what about coming back to the college level, but on the women's side. And so gave it some thought, some consideration, prayed about it, and it ended up just feeling like a great fit. And so ended up transitioning back there on the women's side, very similar to like Lex, where most of my experience and my growth as a coach had been on the men's side, but have loved being on the women's side. It's been a great fit. So.
And you survived COVID as a high school coach.
Yes.
I can only imagine. You know, we in the college world, it was chaos enough. Yeah. But did they even play high school ball that year?
Yeah, we did. So it was as everywhere. It was a very odd version of it. Lots of canceled games. So it was basically a kind of a restricted schedule, but we did end up playing. We coached in masks, we played in masks, all the things, all the craziness. But yeah, we got through it, and we were testing kids, we were quarantining kids, preparing for a game, and 2 hours before the game, you'd find out one of your best players tested positive, and you weren't going to have him, and all the crazy. But yes, we got through it. We did.
I'm guessing that as the head coach, you were doing a lot of that stuff yourself, and so that might have made the decision to move back to college a little easier afterwards.
Yeah. No, it wasn't bad at all. A lot of people, when I did decide to go back to college, I think there's a public perception out there that maybe college coaching is much more demanding. And I think maybe in some ways it is, but there's a lot of ways. I was at a pretty small school district, so I was responsible for basketball from 7th grade to 12th grade. That's a lot. It's a lot of kids, a lot of details,
a lot of parents too.
Yes, exactly. So, when I went back to college, I think I had forgotten there was a lot of responsibility that was involved in my job description at the secondary level, that when I got back to college, I was like, oh, I forgot I don't have to do all that. So, yeah, it was great. It was great.
Coach, so now as we sort of fast forward a little bit and the opportunity comes up here, how'd that conversation with Alexis go, and was it instantaneous? This is where I need to be.
Yeah. So you know how it is. Sometimes you meet somebody and you feel like, I feel like I've known this person a long time. That's kind of how it was with Lex. When we started hanging out, we started talking, and this was long before there was conversations of a potential opportunity to come work here. But all throughout last season, obviously, the women were having a fantastic year. So he and I would shoot texts back and forth after a game. If they had a big game, if I had a big game, we'd shoot a text, wish each other luck, or a congratulatory text after the game. So we just started to really connect. And he's just, as you know, he's one of those guys that is just as genuine a human as I'd ever been around. So I really just appreciated him. And I think we just became friends at some level, and just as well as our connection with basketball. We would see each other occasionally. I got to come out to a couple Liberty games on the men's side, so we would cross paths. We ended up, my wife and I went to the conference tournament in Huntsville, which was an awesome weekend, as you know. Got to see them, got to see Talon and the guys play, and then also I made sure I got in the building for all the women's games too. So that was incredible. But yeah, when the conversations started, they were there was so much unknown. As you know, Coach Green wasn't sure what he was going to do. He was considering, hey, I think he was using the terminology, I'm in the fourth quarter. I don't know that I'm going to do this a lot longer, but I don't know how long. So we couldn't ever really have definitive conversations. It was kind of hypothetical, like if this, then this, would you consider, would you be interested? It was those kind of things. And so eventually we got to the point where there legitimately was an opening on the staff, because the additional position had been added to the staff, with Dan Lumpkin moving over to the administrative side, which created an opening on the court. And Coach Green was still the head coach, and Lex was still the associate head coach, but now there was an opening. So that's when they officially began to talk to me about, hey, we've got a spot. Would you be interested in this? And so it was a big decision. The Liberty piece wasn't hard. I knew instantly I loved it here. I had enough exposure here that when there was a real opportunity on the table, I knew how I felt about that. It was a big decision. I had been in Arkansas for so many years. I was super comfortable. Everything was familiar. And at my age, you don't typically think about just picking up and uprooting and moving across the country. But we just continued to weigh it out, pray about it, seek counsel. And my wife and I, and even my kids, were so supportive, because it was going to mean an uprooting of their life, because we had all been in this one little town their entire life, and all of a sudden we were going to scatter. And Gracie and Talon headed to Indianapolis, and my son going to college in Missouri. He's a freshman in Missouri, and then me coming out here, and Sarah's not even here yet. I'm just here. She's finishing up a second degree at Arkansas Tech, where I was coaching before. So we're scattered all over the place. So it was a big decision, but we just kept coming back to, this is an opportunity to go to a place. It's one of those special places in the world. And we just said, let's put our yes on the table and see what happens. So here we are.
Well, I know all the fans that are listening to this right now, watching this, they're saying, ask him about Talon. Why haven't you already asked him about Talon?
That's a great question.
But I wanted to get through the background and the bio before I started talking about the clickbait.
No, that's great. That's great.
So tell me that the Talon story. You say that
my oldest daughter is married to Talon. Yeah.
So your son-in-law.
My son-in-law. That's right.
And of course, Liberty fans know Talon Peter, and
sure.
They know his story and how much success he had at Liberty and now Indianapolis. But how did your daughter and Talon meet up?
Yeah. So hometown kids. Talon's from Russellville, Arkansas. He's from our hometown. Talon has been in our life at some level going all the way back to elementary school. You know, he and Gracie just grew up together. So he and his mom and his two brothers, they've just been a part of our world for many, many years. Cool stories. I mean, one, for example, when I was still teaching, I drove a school bus for years, and going all the way back, Talon used to ride my school bus when he was an elementary school kid. And loved him then, you know, just an endearing kid. You can imagine this curly-headed kid gets on the bus, he's smiling, always wanted to talk about basketball. So when I was coaching at Arkansas Tech, I still drove a school bus. So he would be on my school bus. We would talk basketball on the route. Sometimes we'd get to his house and he wouldn't get off the bus. He'd stay on with me and ride the rest of the route, and then I'd drop him off because we were just talking basketball. Arkansas Tech basketball games, right before the game, I'd go over to the side door and let he and his twin brother in the game. They'd come in and watch the games. Like, we just had that neat bond together. Just a kid that I've loved for many years. And then he was obviously a kind of a hometown hero, fantastic basketball player. He and Gracie started dating in high school. And so he's just been a part of our family. You know, just now he's truly a part of our family, but he was kind of a part of our family before. And then obviously he went off to Tennessee Tech his first year out of school, so he was gone from us for a while, and then he ended up transferring back. And it was great for me because I was in the same building, because I was on the women's side, but he was right there. I saw him every day, talked to him every day. Many days after practice, on his way out, he'd come by and sit in the office, and we'd talk about the day, talk about practice, talk about upcoming game. He's just been a huge part of our world. And you know, at the Division II level, we played back-to-back games on Thursday and Saturday night. So I saw him play every game of his college career at Arkansas Tech, because the women would play, and then we'd get food and we'd sit and watch our men play. So I really got to be a part of his journey there at Arkansas Tech. And so special relationship. And then obviously he and Gracie ended up, he asked Gracie to marry him. And I said, unhesitantly, I said yes, because we just loved him. He was part of the family. Never knew the Liberty part was going to come into the story at that point. But yeah, I guess that's why Richie called me when he was recruiting him, because I was just so close to him. They weren't married at that point. But Richie called me, and when I called Talon afterwards, I said, "Hey, did you hear from this guy from Liberty?" And he said, "I did." He goes, "What's Liberty?" He'd never heard of it. He'd never even heard of it, didn't know where it was, knew nothing about it. So it's an unbelievable story how he ended up here. And it's a testament to Richie and the unbelievable job he did of recruiting him, because when Talon was ready to commit, he had no doubts. He knew this is where he wanted to be. So
how's he doing?
He's doing great. It's been a whirlwind, obviously, since the draft. I'd be lying if any of us thought that was coming. I mean, we believed in him, obviously, thought he was a fantastic player. But if you would have told me, hey, he's going to get drafted, hey, he's going to be on the opening day roster for the Pacers, I would have said, hey, I think we're all dreaming, So, but here we are. He's doing great. I think he's adjusting really well to the professional basketball world. It's a huge adjustment, as you know. But I think he's done great. And I just think he's continuing to grow. His summer league games, I think, were fantastic for him to get out there and play against players at that next level. And then the preseason games, I think he did a great job. Lex and I actually got to go up and watch one of the preseason games, cool, which was great. Hang out with Gracie and Talon for a couple days, so that was great. And then, here we are jumping into the regular season. He's nursing a little injury right now. He's had to miss a couple games, but talked to Gracie actually last night, and he's doing well. He didn't play last night in Dallas. He's close, but they said they wanted to hold him out a couple more days, do a couple more days of treatment, let him practice. I think their plan is for him to play this coming Friday night. They're back home in Indianapolis for a couple games. So, but he's doing great. They're doing great. These two kids from little small town Russellville, Arkansas, are jumped right into the middle of NBA basketball, and they're trying to figure it out. But they're grounded. They got their feet on the ground, and they're taking it one day at a time. So it's going good.
Well, not that Alexis needed any other excuse to have NBA TV on the bus,
right.
but now
Exactly.
it's a done deal. We're going to be
Exactly.
watching some NBA highlights and games.
No doubt.
You mentioned your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about your entire family.
Yeah, so Gracie, Taylon's wife, is our oldest daughter. She actually went to Arkansas Tech, where I was coaching, played volleyball there, got her degree there, graduated with a biomedical degree with the plan to either go to med school or PA school. That's obviously all on hold at the moment. So as everything in their life now has kind of shifted to one thing, and that is, hey, let's try to figure out what this life looks like in professional basketball. But she's doing great, and she was telling me last night she's picked up a little side job up there coaching club volleyball. She absolutely loves it. So it's got her hand back in the volleyball world, so she's loving that. Our middle daughter, her name is Kana Brooke. She's doing fantastic. She's actually still at Arkansas Tech as well. She graduates this year with a nursing degree. Was talking to her this morning. She's on an airplane flying to Indianapolis for the weekend to hang out with her sister and Taylon for the 2 home games this weekend. So she's got a big grin on her face. She's going to get to go see her sister, which they're best of friends. So they're excited about that. But she's doing fantastic. She's loving her nursing degree, really has a heart to work in a children's hospital. That's kind of her passion. She's doing an internship right now at Children's Hospital in Little Rock, Arkansas. She loves it. And then we have a son who is 18 years old. He's a freshman. He's going to a junior college in Missouri called Crowder College, playing baseball up there, and just doing great, just growing, adjusting to all those first-year freshman things and the junior college baseball world, which is it's challenging, but it's good. It's good for him, and he's learning and growing. And then my wife, Sarah, like I said, we met in college. We kind of had we call it a basketball love story. We met at Cedarville. She was playing basketball. I was playing basketball. We used to see each other kind of in passing on the court, and ended up getting married a few years later, and so we've been together almost 30 years. So
wow.
Yeah, that speaks to how old I am. But she's an amazing woman. Like I said, she's getting a second degree right now at Arkansas Tech. She had a teaching degree, but she went back to school a couple years ago and is getting a nursing degree. So we tried to get her out here when I came at the fall, but it's difficult in a nursing degree to get all those credits to transfer and stuff. So she stayed there with the kids, and is finishing up that degree. Hopefully she can get moved here maybe at the end of the school year, June, July, something like that. We're trying to work out all those details, but that's the family. So
it's outstanding.
Yep.
If you go back, I want to say 20 years ago even, definitely if you go back 30 years ago and you looked at the coaching roster, it would say head coach, assistant coach, and you probably wouldn't go much further than that. Maybe if you were in the Big Ten or SEC or ACC, you might have another something or other on that list. Right. As time has gone on, the list of assistant coaches has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and the list of staff has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and now you've got some titles that used to be assigned to football. You got coordinators and quality control and general managers with all the NIL stuff now. So I'll be honest, I have no clue and have not memorized what each of your title, not the titles are, but the extra descriptions next to it. I was looking through that last night. I was like, I'm never going to remember this, but I know Andy has, I think, director of recruiting or something to do with recruiting, and you've got player development, and you've got culture development, and you've got yours.
Yeah, so my title there out there beside my name is director of offensive development. That's a loose phrase for I think I'm going to kind of have a hands-on role alongside of Alexis in the offensive strategy side of things. Which you do know him. that's kind of he loves offense. And so he doesn't really need my help. He graciously lets me be a part of discussions, as is the whole staff. But, that's what I'm going to do with that role is that's going to be a focus, I guess I should say. Our coach's room is so cohesive. We have a title, but we all kind of blend together. It's really beautiful, to be honest with you. We have certain areas that we focus on, but then we come right behind each other and support each other. It all kind of blends together. So, but yeah, that's specifically what I'm doing. Positionally, most of my time when we do position breakdowns, position development, most of my time has been spent to this point with the fours. I've spent a lot of time with Efi and Liz. This week we've kind of started blending the threes and the fours a little bit. So we brought our wings in with the fours because our threes and fours kind of are interchangeable. They're not really, our fours aren't really just inside kids. They can get out on the perimeter, they can shoot, they can drive, they can push in transition. So we talked as a staff this week when we do our positional groups, kind of starting to work those kids together. So we brought our threes in with the fours yesterday. We're going to do that again today, trying to just make those kids really well-rounded where they can play on the perimeter a little bit, but they can also get inside at 10, 12 feet and be effective as well. So.
Well, Brad, I've kept you too long.
Oh, good.
There'll be other times I'm sure that we can catch up more because that's a fascinating – you've got a very fascinating story, and the fact that it parallels so much with what Coach Sherard went through is I say went through. That's
No.
But there are some trials along the way with the triumphs, and so that's kind of cool. From driving a school bus to now you've got a daughter that's an NBA wife,
I know,
and
crazy.
you're an assistant coach at Liberty University. I'm sure you would have never dreamed that any of those things would have happened when you were growing up.
No, not in a million years. So.
Well, we look forward to that first game and seeing you roam the sideline. And I will say this and please don't be offended by what I'm about to say.
I won't be.
Sometimes, and you may have the same plight, when I am reading something up close, I'm actually better off to take my glasses off and you can see it a little bit better.
Right.
And so if I've got my glasses off and I'm looking across the court at the arena, I can see figures and I can get a general idea of what they look like, but maybe not as crisp of detail. And when I saw you walk across the court for a split second, I thought, is that Paul Schaefer? But I think it's the glasses.
That's right. That's great. Yeah, I haven't always worn glasses, but, I keep having these birthdays and my eyes continue to decline. So, glasses are a necessary part of my coaching because they're weighted on the bottom end so I can read. When I get those stat sheets at timeouts, if I didn't have these, I'd be over there doing this. So the glasses make it to the sidelines.
Well, if you ever need another profession, you could be a celebrity impersonator. Because
there you go.
As long as I don't have my glasses on, you are the spotting image of Paul Schaefer. You got any music in your background?
A little bit, but no Paul Schaefer. I'm not that guy on the keys. So.
Oh, my goodness. I wish I had a tenth of the talent that guy's got.
I know.
Anyway, great conversation, a lot of fun,
you.
and we
Appreciate
look forward to an outstanding season.
Yeah, thank you. Go Lady Flames.
Absolutely. That was our newest assistant coach, Brad Palmer. And the Lady Flames will be in action on Tuesday night against Frostburg. It's still not too late to get your season tickets or individual tickets to any specific game that you want to go to. I know they've got a deal going on right now with the men's game on Monday night and the women's game on Tuesday night. Go to libertyflames.com for that. And you can also follow the Lady Flames all season with our radio broadcast. The games, of course, most of the games will be on television as well. And you can find that info under the women's basketball page at libertyflames.com. The notes are there that Paul Carmody puts out, and he'll keep you updated. I've got my copy right here already, so he's making me sound smarter than I really am, and it's just preseason, but it'll be season before we know it. It's hours away, so we look forward to having you tune in for that, and we'll follow those Lady Flames all the way to another championship. Until then, this is Jamie Hall saying so long, and God bless.
You've been listening to the Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Radio Show. Today's show has been presented by Freedom First Credit Union. Start banking with Freedom First today. The Liberty Flames Women's Basketball Show has also been brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's Bo time. Carter Bank. Life lived full. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling. By Foster Fuels, providing reliable service for 100 years. Lynchburg Nissan. Nobody beats our prices. Nobody. Rogers Heating and Cooling. Servicing Greater Lynchburg's HVAC and electrical needs. Thompson Brooks Insurance. Planning today for tomorrow. And by the United States Space Force. Liberty Flames Basketball is an exclusive presentation of the Liberty Flames Sports Network from Van Wagner.